So in the administrative reports section, it is going to automatically pull this box up for you. This is where you can choose the different PO types, document status, the blanket end date today, if it's greater than. All of these are listed in here for you. Basically, you can choose your org name. This is basically the number of days until this is going to be expired. So you can do 30, 60, 90, 120, whatever your preference is. So for today's session, I want to see all contracts that are going to be expiring in 0 to 60 days. So this is going to automatically start you at 0, and then the blanket end date will be 60 days. So I'm going to pull this again for just CMS because they've approved for us to see these today. Click Apply. And this is the time that it will take a little bit of time whenever you're pulling those reports if they are very large reports. And then you'll see it pop up in this background, and to get this box to go away, you will click OK. So Apply, OK, that will come up on your screen. This is the report again that will show all reports, all contracts that are expiring between 0 and 60 days. It gives the buyer information, PO number, short description, vendor name, the blanket begin date, blanket end date, days until the expiration, the orgs that are allowed to purchase on it, if it's a master contract, department that's allowed to purchase on it, again, for a master contract, dollar amount spent today. And these are really good for you to be able to see on this report. We just worked to updating this report to include these 3 last columns, which is going to show you the number of renewals that are available on it, the number of renewal terms, and the units. So on here you'll see these units are in year and month. So it will say 1 year, 24 months, 36 months, however many renewal terms there are and how long those renewal units are. Okay. You can take this report and you can export it into Excel if you go to this export icon right here and click as Excel. It will export the report into any of those features. If you want it into PDF or a Word document, you're able to export those into any manner. It will pop up at this icon down here. You click it and it should open up for you. Again, depending on how large or small that report is, it may take a different amount of time whenever you're pulling those reports. So if it's a very large report, it might take a little bit longer for you to pull. So with this being in Excel, now you would be able to add filters and organize this in any manner that is necessary for you. Okay, I'm going to exit out of that and come back here just to show you all of the different types that you can export this into. You can do PDF, Excel paginated, Excel, CSV, doc. All of these are available to you to be able to export to. Okay, does anybody have any questions in regard to that? Again, if you put in your questions into the chat feature, that's what we use in our trainer support webinar. Please put it into that chat feature. Do not use the Q&A feature because it will not come to us. So if you have any questions, just stick them into the chat feature of our WebEx. Okay. Okay.
And we do have one question that came in, which is an excellent question. Where does the figure for dollars spent come from? My understanding of that figure is that for master contracts where multiple agencies are releasing, each time a release is done, that dollar amount counts against the spend. So I think, as we all know, technically it's not true spend because our procurement system does not, accommodate spend. We are the procurement system, and the SAP ERP or your other financial system is what actually manages spend. But as I understand it, this would reflect the dollars that have been released off that contract by a specific agency. So hopefully that helps. Another question someone asked for us to show, again, really quickly, the location in BidBuy for accessing these administrative reports?
Right there at that pie chart icon, whenever you're logged in, if you're on the home screen, whenever you're logged in, on this toolbar right here where all of your icons are, your log out, ad hoc reporting, you may not have all of these icons available to you. So if you do not see the administrative report icon, please be sure that you update that form to be able to request that icon. Here it is, I'm in basic purchasing role with the administrative reports icon. When you click that, it will pull up all of those administrative reports if you have access to it. And it's going to be, the one we just went over again is the expiring contracts report that has that information. Okay.
Okay, so we wanted to show you that one because, again, based on inquiries we've received and requests, we think this is going to be one of the sections of the reporting functionality that's going to be most helpful to you. What you will find over time is that we will be enhancing and revising this, in going from some standardized reports that we have available to make them most useful to you. One of the things that we just did with that expiring contracts report is we added the columns that show the number of days remaining until a contract expires, as well as the number of renewal terms available. So we needed to add additional information. And so, as always, if you have any feedback on these reports or a special report that you think would be helpful to everyone, please send that information in to us. We take all suggestions, and we can make other additional information available to you, but we thought that might be helpful to you. Okay, the other thing that we wanted to talk about this morning is beginning on Monday, you will see a new list of special procurement types when you are out on the accounting tab. So we're all familiar with going out to the accounting tab, picking that special procurement type, and right now there are 4 choices. These 4, I believe, are the ones that are currently out there: anticipation of litigation, purchase of care, not applicable, and joint purchasing. Beginning on Monday, you will see the ones beginning with sole source, and the remainder of those are added. And so we just wanted to let you know, and just to sort of go back and recap, special procurement types drive different approval paths. So within BidBuy, you have your internal approval paths, then there are the statewide approval paths, but when you come to special types of procurement, like a state use or like an emergency, there may be a different approval path routing at the state level that needs to occur. So that's the reason when you're doing a procurement that falls into one of these categories and you go out to your accounting tab and one of these applies, select that, and that will drive that procurement through the correct procurement approval path. So just so you know, that's coming on Monday, and if you have any questions, if you're looking at any of these and you say, well, I'm not sure what artistic or musical services special procurement types might be, it's likely because your agency doesn't procure artistic or musical services. So the ones that you are familiar with are going to be the ones that, you're accustomed to using within your agency. So just wanted to share that so we, don't have lots of questions on Monday about that. Everything else is all of our standard information, again, letting you get back to your fiscal year end activities. We will continue to work on our end to make sure we're following the end user support process, always copying back an APO or SPO if we receive an inquiry, and so continue working on that. All of our agency readiness, I think everyone is well underway with that, so we always talk about that. Your help desk. One thing I wanted to point out this week, especially with the most recent addition on our list of options of the ERP help desk, I've indicated here to choose one. We are seeing in a number of cases where we're getting inquiries and multiple help desks are being copied. When you're reaching out to a help desk, pick the one that you think is the most right. Because if we have these inquiries going to multiple help desks, then we end up with multiple people working on them, and it can end up being very confusing. So pick one, and if we need to add in some other resources to assist, we will do that. Each of the help desks works collaboratively, and we all communicate with each other. So when reaching out, choose the one that's the right one. Another thing we just wanted to underscore quickly, alternative forms. The alternative forms are available, and the key word here is alternative. If you are using BidBuy and you are finding that you are using the alternative forms all the time, that's really not the purpose or intent of the alternative forms. The alternative forms are to be used when the form within BidBuy is not functioning for you. We are finding that if you are in a circumstance where the standard forms within BidBuy aren't functioning, we can most likely fix that. There's a very, very, very high likelihood that we'll fix it. So use the forms within BidBuy. The alternatives are there in case of an emergency, in case you need a form really quickly and you're having a problem. But the alternative forms should not become your standard operating procedure. So they're there. Use them sparingly, but if you need them, they're there. Upcoming training events. So we still have BidBuy ERP training scheduled for 7/3. We're working on nailing down the date for the SAP orgs releasing of BidBuy. The various small purchase updates, that training has been completed, so we did do that. BEP process training is coming very quickly. We're in the very last stages of finalizing that. And then that legacy contract issue resolution help session is scheduled for July 9th, and you will receive invitations and information on that session. So, and we will likely be adding more events to our upcoming training events. We're going to have a busy training season coming. We also have a full Train the Trainer program being scheduled for August. And as you know, every agency is required to have its own internal BidBuy trainer. That BidBuy trainer within the agency conducts the training for the agency staff. So if you are low on trainers or need to add someone, when we send those invites out, you'll be able to then sign up. And that will be held in Springfield, both in the classroom, but we will also make it available as a webinar. So if you don't get a seat, because our seats will sell out pretty quickly, we think, you'll be able to attend electronically, or staff that you want to attend will be able to attend electronically. It'll be specifically, though, for those folks who will be trainers. So with that, I'm going to open it up for our standard Q&A and see if we have any general questions out there. We do have a question a couple questions. Let me go back up. Let's see. Ooh, okay. When will ICI be added? We are continuing to work with ICI, so continue using your standard process for ICI. I don't have a date right now that we can share in terms of when that will be added, but we continue with regular discussions to get that accomplished, and we're working on that one. And so just to clarify, these will be located on the accounting tab, and I think that's a reference to the special procurement types, and the answer is yes. Where you see 4 special procurement types now, out on the accounting tab, that's where you'll see the expanded list of special procurement types. Okay. I will leave it open just another moment or two for any additional questions. That's more exciting news. So we have another question. Well, can we stop using the supplemental form for the comptroller? That information should be available soon. It looks like we have closed all of the open questions related to the PO print form, and we expect to be able to have an answer. But, you know, again, when we're working to ensure that, you know, another constitutional officers' needs are being met, like the comptroller, we have to ensure that they have everything that they need. So as soon as we do that, and again, it's something that we work on every single day, and I expect that to be very soon too. I just can't give you a date, although I'd love to give you a date, but I can't. Okay, as promised, this one was really quick, so everyone can get back to cleaning up their fiscal year end. For those of you who have already cleared for your fiscal year, congratulations, and for those of you who haven't, good luck, and thank you very much. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget Tuesday, for those of you who it's appropriate to, not Tuesday, July 3rd. And thank you.